Welcome, Super Smarties. Let the learning begin. Zone check-in. Remember the goal. Regulated and ready to learn. Me, I'm in the green zone. All right, we're going to reach back and pull a mind shift from a previous day, and it's blowing bubbles. Now, if you don't have real bubbles, you're going to imagine blowing bubbles. And you'll breathe in and then blow out and let the bubbles go. Okay? And always remember in threes. The idea is start, beginning, middle, and end. And the goal is to get regulated and ready to learn, always going for calm, focused, and self-aware. All right, so let's dive into the learning. We're going to change up the calendar. So we've got our portable calendar here. It was the 13th, but it's not anymore. So it's one more than 13. Let's count. Let's reach back and then count forward. Let's start at 10. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I put a 1 in the tens place. I put a 4 in the ones place. 14. And I see I've lost my dash. 5 dash 14 dash 20. Now, I'm not always going to write all the information because we don't do that in our classroom that way. Sometimes I just eliminate some of the peripheral information that we need to change and I update it, which means it's your job to make sure that you stop the tape and make sure you have enough time to record the ancillary information that repeats itself. And what we're going to be doing is recording it into our composition book. And you can try doing the date yourself without any support from me to see if you have put that information into your schema and if you are able to reach to your schematic and pull the information forward without any supports. And then you can come back and check with me, or you can fix it with me, or you can write it with me. But I'm not always going to replace all the information because that's super time consuming. And we switch it up so that your brain is constantly looking for the novelty, but it's also having the repetition of the information, which is how we lay track on a schema. A schematic to build schema. Okay, so yesterday was not Tuesday. So we're going to eliminate that information because it's dated, and we're going to move the information that we recorded yesterday up because what was in the present yesterday is now in the past today. Time constantly is moving. So we can look at a smart card, look at a smart chart, look at the smart board, reach into our smart brain. Oh, and you know what? I forgot my face space. The face space. So yesterday was face space, capital W, E, D, N, E, S, D, A, Y. And then a period. Which means today cannot be Wednesday. So we have to change that. The day that follows Wednesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday follows them. Digraph. Thursday. Does this have a T and a H at the beginning? So it has to be Thursday. There's 2 T days, so don't get tricked. And we can check here. It's exactly the same. Capital T, H, U-R-S-D-A-Y, and then a period. So if today is Thursday, tomorrow will not be Thursday. Tomorrow will be one more than Thursday. Last day of the school week, it will be Friday. You got it. Capital F-R-I-D-A-Y, and then a period. So yesterday was Wednesday, it's in the past. Today is Thursday, it's in the present. Tomorrow will be Friday, it's in the future. 5-14-20, let's transfer that information down as we record the statement for the day. Today is Thursday. And always try and rely on your mind first and then reference to see if you're correct. May 14th, 1 and a 4, 2020. Now, for our nano lesson, nano, what's missing? First, look at what is there, or look at what is there first. So what's missing? Here we see a flower, then a pig, then a butterfly, then a girl, then a house. So something is missing in each of them. We have to reach into our schema and think about what it is that we see that's there and fill in the blank for what isn't there. In order to complete the picture, we have to figure out what it is that we don't see on the page or the board and what it is we do see in our mind's eye. Now, to stretch out this learning, you could make pictures that show sequence or progress of it moving forward from this to this to this to this to that, and add extra information like what we did on our previous days for our micro lesson. And or you could just make pictures with something missing and then put what they're missing on a separate card and make kind of a matching game where you flip them over, or as fast as you can, you try and line them up. All right, so here we have a flower. What's missing? I see a stem, leaves, the center, and then petals, but there's an open space. What's missing? One of the petals. So let's fill it in. And I'm using a different color so that we can see what was missing and what we added to it. And you could put these on a piece of paper and slide them in a sheet protector to make a white mat, unless you have one of the fancy white mats that we use at school. Or you could do it on a dry erase board and then add it as well. Here's a pig. I see his hooves and his body and his curly tail, and I see his ears and his eyes, and I see part of his snout. What's missing? The rest of his snout. So I'm going to make the little circle for his snout. Here's a butterfly. I see the antenna and his legs and his body. I see his tiny wings. He's missing one of his large wings. Because he's missing the wing, he's missing the symmetrical design on it. Here's a girl. I see hair, and I see her head, and I see eyes, but she's missing a nose and a mouth. Here I see a house with a walkway going up to the house, and there's a roof and a chimney, flowers, landscape, windows, but how do you get in? There is no door. We need to add the door. So now we've completed everything that's missing. Make sure you transfer all this information into your composition book, and you go back and you visit it again and again, reading it and then making ideas for traction action, stretching out the learning and pushing it into other areas of practice so you can get that information into your schema onto automaticity. Fast as a snap, fast as a clap, fast as a blink. That's how fast you need to think. So let's take it down. Bye-bye board. Make sure you transfer it. Lots of information there. And let's go on a trip. I love trips. I want to go to Arizona to see my mama and my daddy. Climb on the bus. Let's build up our schema. Honk, honk, beep, beep. Whoosh. Doors are open. Let's go on a trip. Schema snack. Brain bite. Just a little nibble. Not a full-on lesson because remember, it's mostly I do. I know you're participating, but try as I may, I can't completely hear you. Not completely interactive, just kind of. All right, so today what we're going to do here on our board is phonemic awareness. So I know it's drawn as best I can. It looks like a C with a C in it, but it's really supposed to be an ear. So this is an ear for hearing sounds. So what we're going to do is see how many sounds there are in each word. Isolate those sounds, but find out how many sounds are in each word. That's phonemic awareness. Being able to say a word and then stretch it out. Not where you just hear the beginning, the middle, and the end, but you isolate every sound in the word so that you can figure out which letter, which symbol corresponds with that sound that we would need to record so that we could write that word down and be able to read it. Now, what's tricky about words is that some of the sounds have more than one letter that make them. And sometimes some of the words, they have letters in them that you can't even hear, that aren't even making any sound and don't even contribute to partnering with the letter to make a sound. So that's where it gets confusing. That's where you would need the spelling bee. Hallelujah. So that you don't get a stinger in you for spelling a word wrong. Spelling bee's keeping his stinger and coming along to support you. And we're not going to do the words together, writing them out, but we are going to sound them out and isolate each sound and make a line to show how many sounds in each. Or maybe we'll make an X for how many sounds in each. And then I'm going to go back really quickly, write the words in so that you can see how some of the words can be very confusing because they don't always have letters that make sounds. That's when you need to take a picture with your smart eyes, log that into your smart brain so you remember when your smart hands are writing to add what you don't hear but you know that you see and has to be there for the word to be spelled the way you find it in a dictionary. Now, early writing allows for what's called phonetic spelling. Phonetic spelling is where you isolate some or all of the sounds and you record a letter for those sounds. And if you have something representing all the sounds, you actually could decode. That means you could figure out what the letters mean, what their sounds are, push them together, and figure out what the words should be. And as we get stronger in our reading and our writing, we eventually remember how to spell words, even though they don't look like they sound. It's a very, very, very hard job to learn how to read and to write. So pat yourself in the back. Opportunities to grow are all around us. And what this is an opportunity to grow. If it feels difficult, what you need to know is that you're learning. That's how you know you're learning. Compressions and your brain working so hard. You feel so tired when you're finished. That means your brain is building schema. If it's not very hard, you're just practicing, which is super important too. That's how you myelinate those sheaths between those neural connections. Those neurons need that myelinated sheath for you to get to it with automaticity. And if it's hard, you are learning. So make sure that you stay with it. Remember what we said. The key to mastery is effort, and you need to never, ever give up. Now, sometimes, though, I worked with a teacher a long time ago. He was my paragon of excellence, and meaning he was just a fabulous teacher, but he said he couldn't hear the sounds, so he had to memorize all of the words by looking at them and memorizing what their structure looked like and where their letters went. That was really hard, which is why he wanted to be a teacher, because he wanted to help other kids who maybe struggled too, because he understood that the struggle was real and he wanted to help them overcome it so they could be successful just like him. But if you can isolate the sounds, it's really helpful in reading and in writing. So why don't we try this together? All right, so here is a picture of, it's a bird. Because I'm telling you it's a bird, I know it's not a chicken, which is a bird, but this is a bird. So let's try and make the sounds for the word bird. B, d, b, d. Now, one of the things that's really important is we have to remember every word has a vowel that works like the glue in a word. So even though we hear is the sound of a consonant, there has to be a vowel. So if we were writing, we would have to know that there's a b, an which has to be made of two letters, even though it's only one sound, and then a d. But if we wrote it b, d, with only 3 letters representing those sounds, we could sound it out, but it wouldn't be spelled correctly. Spelling bee would have to come and help us. But we hear 3 sounds. We hear a b, an and a d. B, d, b, d. Let's look at this. Ball, ball, b, a, l, b, a, l. We hear 3 sounds, so we have to have at least 3 letters. B, a, l, b, a, l. And we can hear the vowel in there. Now this is something I'm not crazy about. It is a clown. K, k, l, ow, n, k, l, ow, n. K, l, ow, n, k, l, ow, n. Ow. Oof. I don't know any letter that says ow, so it has to be a combination. So we know we're going to see 2 letters, but we only hear 1 sound. Tricky, tricky tiger. Tricky, tricky tiger. This is a blanket. Blanket. B, l, a, n, k, e, t. B, l, a, n, k, e, t. 7 sounds in that word. B, l, a, n, k, e, t. These are seeds for daisies, but they come in a container or a little package that we call a packet. Packet. P, a, k, e, t. P, a, k, e, t. 5 sounds. P, a, k, e, t. Now this is a pig, but they're putting money in his back, so you don't put money in a real pig's back. So what is it? It's a bank. It's a piggy bank. It's a bank. Bank. B, a, k, b, a, k. And what can be helpful is if you get a mirror and you look at your mouth, every time your mouth is moving, it's making a different sound. B, a, k, b, a, k. Bank. B, a, k. Bank. Here is a boy and a girl, but those are 2 words, and we don't want 2 words, we want just 1. They're holding hands because they are really good friends. Good friends. Friends. F, e, n, d, s. Friends. F, e, n, d, z. We hear 6 sounds. F, e, n, d, z. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sounds. Now this is not an alien. It is a monster. 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 M, a, n, st. M, a, n, st. 6 sounds again. M, a, n, st. Monster. Now you can try this with other pictures and other words. Try kissing each sound. Kiss each sound. Now what I want you to know though is that most of these words have hidden letters in them. This is where we jump to phonics. Phonics. Phonemic awareness is the listening part, but phonics is the recording part. So look carefully as I record the words, and we're not going to sound them completely out. This was 3 sounds. B, d. But look at how I spell it. B, I, R, d. So 2 letters got together. It's the of girl. and made this sound. Look at this one, ball. Here's how we spell it, all. All. Twin L's at the end made this sound. This is a clown. Watch how I spell it. K-ul. Ow. K-ul. Ow. Two letters got together to make the ow sound. This is a blanket. Watch how I spell it. B-ul-a-n-k-et. B-ul-a-n-k-et. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 letters. There was a letter for every sound. This is a packet. Look how I spell it. P-a-k-et. P-a-k-et. Look, C and K got together to make the k sound. Steeler C just had to get in there because really you only needed a K. P-A-C-K-E-T. So not every letter is represented by a sound. This is a bank. Watch how I spell it. B-A-N-K. B-A-N-K. 4 sounds, 4 letters. No C in this word. See, that's why it's so hard. You just have to pay close attention. This is a picture of friends. Watch how I spell it. F-R-E-N-D-Z. F-R-E-N-D-Z. Ooh, the I and the E get together. Now here's a little mnemonic for remembering how to spell friends. Look at the order, because you only hear an E, which seems like the E should be first, but it's second. So here's what you can know. I, see the I, would be at my end, E-N-D, without my friend. I would be at my end without my friend. The I comes before the E in friend, and you can know that I would be at my end. I would come to my end. I couldn't be without my friend. I before E. And it's I before E except after C, and as in A as in neighbor and way. Friends. But you don't hear the I, so it's easy to leave it out. Now this is a monster. Watch how I spell it. M-A-N-S-T-R. So these 2 letters, the ER of spider, get together, and all you hear is the like the of rabbit, but it's an ER, of spider. Monster, spider. M-A-N-S-T-R. That was super fun. Now for traction action, try and say a word, any word, and then isolate every single sound, not its parts, and not the beginning sound as a cluster, the middle sound stretched out, and the ending sound as a cluster, but every individual sound that makes up the word. And just randomly pick words like love, love, v. And dog, d-a-g. And dinner, d-i-n-er. So try and make the sounds and then think about the symbols that represent those sounds. You could record them, but that's jumping from phonemic awareness, the hearing of it, and the isolating of it, and the identifying of it as an individual sound, carrying the math over, to recording it, which is phonics. It was so much fun sharing this with you. I look forward to sharing other fantastic information on other videos, but until then, here's some pride, put it inside, and some love. You can have it now, or you can save it for later. And my schema shop is now shut, so you'll have to come back later if you want some more. And you might want to shut your shop too so it doesn't slip out, right? So until we meet again, super teacher